Hey YouTube, and always post 975. There's a question up there. What's the one gaming trade you made back in the day that you regret the most? Still to this day pokes away at you, irks you inside, and you just think, I can't believe I did that. If I could go back somehow and change that decision, I would do so in a heartbeat. And I don't mean now from our current perspective, because we're retro collectors, so we have a different appreciation of some of the things we owned back then. I mean, generally, you know, it's burned with you since you did it, and you know, from then to now, and you just regret it so much. This question's inspired by Pete SNEStastic's recent pickup video. He's in my shuffle list, and I'll put a link to his channel and the doohickey down below. Pretty sure you know who he is, but if you don't, go and check him out. Top bloke, great channel. Now in his pickup video he talked about how he traded his original Super Nintendo for a Sega Mega Drive with a kiddie at school, and he regretted doing it, and I watched that bit and I just went, yes, I've done one of those, I've got one of those stories, I so know where you're coming from. And a few other people from time to time in the community have talked about stuff they've done, so I think it's safe to say that we all have that sort of skeleton in our closet, that one trade that we just wish we never did. We traded for different reasons, didn't we, as a kid? But I think the main one was quite simply because we didn't have the disposable cash that we do now as adults. So getting your hands on a new system or a new game was, you know, it just wasn't as easy. And also, I think it's safe to say that there are various reasons that even then that you were, you know, you would regret a trade, reasons you were attached more so to what you gave away than you received back, such as it was a gift from a friend or a family member. Even then it was something that was so expensive you could never afford it again, or you knew it was rare or it was exclusive or difficult to get in your neck of the woods, maybe because it was an import game. Now mine it's a trade I really regret, and it does involve a Nintendo console, but it's funny because excuse me, it's I didn't trade it for a gaming system, I traded it for something else. It's not like I got shafted on the value of what I traded it for. I think I probably got the better end of the deal. But yeah, back in the day I was two console family. I had a Japanese Mega Drive and I had a Super Famicom. I think I may have mentioned this story before once, and I loved the Super Famicom. I really did. I had it, I imported it from launch. I paid 75 quid for Street Fighter the first time it came out. I preferred the Mega Drive, I hands down preferred it, but I loved the Super Famicom, and it wasn't a cheap system to import for back then. You know, it got a little cheaper when because I had American relatives, that, you know, the SNES was released, or the Super Nintendo was released in the States, and I had an adapter. But I remember it was either very late 93 or very early 94, and I was going to college, so my priorities had changed a little bit. You know, I wasn't gaming as much, and I'll be honest, my priorities were pretty much booze and birds at this point. And I was, you know, I was you know, a young adult. I was getting more so into music than I was or did so when I was a kid, I should say. And I can't remember, this might have been literally just as the English one came out, or possibly before the English one came out, but I just remember my best mates at the time's older brother wanted my Super Famicom, and I don't know, I didn't think I would miss it. Oh, I did initially miss it for a few months or so, I think. It took a while. It took one game play experience, in fact, for me to realise the folly of my ways and just think, what the fuck have I done? Shit. Look up the sky and go, no! It was probably one of those moments, this little, you know, moment of playing this game just brought everything flooding back to what a massive, monumental cock-up decision I had made. Anyway, I traded it with his brother for a stereo, Pioneer stereo, dual CD tray stereo. It was a stack unit. It was an absolute fantastic stereo. It was a really good quality stereo, and as I said, I was more into my music. You know, if anything, I got the better end of the deal, that it was a very sort of expensive stereo, and there was no way I could afford a 350 quid stereo in, you know, 1994, and I did it. And even threw an air rifle with a telescopic sight to sweeten the deal. I'm not sure why, but I thought that was cool, and he threw in some like sparring pads and gloves and stuff, because I did taekwondo at the time, but I think I gave that up for the same reason I traded the console, which was birds and booze. And I was very happy with it initially. I really didn't mind it. I still had a means to play on other consoles, I should say. And yeah, it was one game, because my brother later on got, and he lived in the same house at the time, he got a Super Nintendo, and I remember when he got Street Fighter, I think he probably realised it was that game. And yeah, all the other games, even though it's a 50 hertz machine and most games were boarded, they never really, I never really seemed to notice it, or never really bothered me that much. And then one day he came in with Street Fighter. Because it was funny, I basically got to play on a Super Nintendo as if it was mine, because he worked and I was at college, so I had bags of time at home, and so for all intents and purposes I had a Super Nintendo. And yeah, this one game I sat down and I played it with him. I played it for about 5 minutes and I just put the pad down, hung my head in shame and just went, what have I done? Oh my god, what have I done? That's not Street Fighter. I don't know what that is, but that's not Street Fighter. That's sluggish as shit, and it's like watching a widescreen movie. It's appalling, it's horrible. Just realising how much better, you know, Street Fighter was on my Super Famicom, and the fact that obviously I could play English games if I had wanted to on it, as well as American games. I just thought I've made such a bad error of judgment. I don't think my next console until after this was until I imported a Japanese PC engine, PlayStation 1, but I just, yeah, and from that point onwards I always regretted that decision. And now as an adult I even more regret that decision. So I'd love to know what you did or you traded back in the day that you still regret, because I'm sure we all have that one thing, that one holy grail that, you know, as in myself, maybe you didn't initially miss it, and it took something to kind of make it come home what you had done, but I'm sure we all have that one trade that we would do anything to go back and change, and I would love to know what yours is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.